Good morning and welcome back to Coffee and Headlines, our morning get together live here on Facebook, where we take a look at local news and news from other parts in Mexico. We take a look at your comments and your ideas, your suggestions on how to remain connected with our city as a community of English-speaking locals, whether you are here in Puerto Vallarta or elsewhere, whether you are watching here on Facebook Live or later on in the day, or whether you're watching on YouTube. We are so very happy to see you today. Today is January the 10th. Today is my sister Maria Leonor's birthday, so if she pops her head in the broadcast, we'll wish her happy birthday, or not. Maybe she's busy. I don't know where my sister is. She's in Mexico City, that's for sure. Anyhow, it is a pleasure to see you. As always, we have news. We have a lot of news today, and they're all bad news, but important news. COVID is coming back, and we might as well be informed. We also have other news. We do have good news. Beloved performer is coming back to Puerto Vallarta. I found out yesterday, and I want to tell you all about this wonderful woman, this wonderful lady that is a dear friend of mine and that everybody should go see live if you want someone to nourish you and nurture you and put you in a great mood and make you feel comforted. That's what she does in her performances. Who am I talking about? You will find out in the second half of the broadcast. But before we go there, as always, if you are new to the broadcast, please let us know by writing the word new in your comment. And if you have something truly important that you wish to share with us, we don't want to miss your comment. So it helps a great deal if you add the letter Q at the beginning of your comment. We'll take a look at all the comments in the second half. So we might as well dive into the news. Okay, so lots of COVID news and things to keep in mind. Not so much for you to get all panicky or for us to get all panicky, but because it is happening. This past weekend, and for the first time ever, Mexico registered 28,023 new COVID cases in 24 hours throughout the country. If that seems like a high number to you, the average would be approximately 903 per state on a single day. Here in Puerto Vallarta, in the first 10 days of this year, Puerto Vallarta has accumulated 778 new cases, and that is 6 times more new cases than last year at this time. Last year at this time, we had only accumulated 130 new cases. So clearly, 130 a year ago, 778 this time around. It's thought-provoking. And it is due to this fact that our state's health board is meeting this morning ahead of schedule. They were originally scheduled to meet on Friday. I checked Governor Alfaro's Facebook page just a few minutes ago, and there are no updates available as yet. I am sure that we will hear from the health board at some point during today. Now, how bad is this new wave of COVID going to get? Well, it doesn't look pretty, according to Washington University's Institute for Health Metrics and Evaluation. They have announced that based on the available data, the upcoming COVID infection here in the state of Jalisco could be as much as 8 times higher or 8 times worse than the previous one by this coming March. I hear about these things and I just want to go, oh no, oh no. But I don't know what to tell you. That's what experts are saying. Um, Meanwhile, the Guadalajara University will resume their free COVID testing at the local campus, or CUC, as we call it, the Centro Universitario de la Costa, starting tomorrow with a capacity of up to 60 PCR tests per day. If you wish to get a test through the university, a telephone number is provided in this article, which you'll be able to have access to in the show notes so that you can call and make an appointment. Also from the University of Guadalajara, they have announced that in-person classes are being delayed until February 8th. In case you have students or you're a teacher, not just yet. Meanwhile, our Mayor Michel, has canceled the traditional first 100 days of government speech due to the meeting with the health board, which makes perfect sense. But at the same time, local political commentators have been grumbling that for the first 100 days of government, Mayor Michel doesn't quite have all that much to report just yet, but we'll be leaving speculation out of this one and wait to see what Mayor Michel has to say about his accomplishments during the first 100 days of this new government. Last but not least, vaccination campaigns continue in Puerto Vallarta, and as we announced last week, today and tomorrow, there are campaigns available for minors that are ages 14 to 17, and of course, booster shots will be available for seniors 60 years of age or older on Thursday and Friday. We will come back to this topic through the week so that we know exactly who's supposed to go and when. But first, let us take a quick look at the weather just to see what we can expect for the beginning of the week. Oh, how rude. Rest in peace, Danny Tanner. We are going to miss Bob Saget. Absolutely. 24 degrees Celsius right now. Feels like 25. Humidity is low at 43%. This is wonderful. Our temperature in Fahrenheit degrees is 76. And our weather forecast for today, mostly cloudy through the day with a high temperature of 31, low temperature of 20. Tomorrow, Tuesday, mostly cloudy through the day with a high temperature of 32, low temperature of 20. And Wednesday will be partly cloudy with a high temperature of 32 and a low temperature of 18. Let's see what else we have. We have a couple of extra headlines that I wish to share with you, starting with the quakes. Apparently, we had 2 quakes. They were reported in the region this past Saturday while most of us were sleeping. The first one took place at 1:30 in the morning with a magnitude of 2.9, while the second one took place at 4:17 a.m. With a magnitude of 3.4. Both epicenters were within our states and no damages were registered. I slept, so I don't know if anybody felt anything. This happened while we were sleeping, but also while we're not sleeping, trash seems to be accumulating through the city, and now it's our friends from Emiliano Zapata that are reporting mountains of trash not being picked up in our city's most frequented areas when it comes to national and international tourism. This particular image comes from the corner of Olas Altas and Francisco Rodriguez, 1 block away from Los Muertos Pier, and it is not a pretty sight, not at all. The city also continues to crack down on taxi drivers misbehaving, either because they're charging irregular fees or because they're part of a platform that is not legally accepted in the city. Curiously enough, Jalisco's transportation secretary informed that last year, during 2021, it was yellow cabs that, and I'm smirking again, yellow cabs that received the highest number of infractions, with 775 infractions out of a total of 993. Um, Now we want to tell you about Zoë Lewis. We are quite enamored with the wonderful Zoë Lewis, who is returning to perform here in Puerto Vallarta at Encanto starting on January 25. If you haven't seen her um, live, Zoe is based in Provincetown, Massachusetts. She's from Britain. She's this multi talented singer, songwriter, piano player, performer, multi instrumentalist, and she juggles things while she's playing the piano. She's just absolutely crazy in the most possibly wonderful way. She started coming to Puerto Vallarta a few years ago, and I have never experienced anyone or anything quite like her. She will tell you stories. She will make you laugh. She will make you teary eyed, and she will comfort you through her very unique view of the world around her. And she will make you laugh so hard, it's not even funny. For those of you that don't know her music and her mindset, I'm going to leave you with this link to her wonderful song, Chili, which she composed here in Puerto Vallarta about the experience of living in Puerto Vallarta. It's just such a beautiful musical snapshot of everything that goes on, from the salespeople at Los Muertos or the beers that you can get. I mean, she is just absolutely wonderful. And that brings us to the end of our headlines. Again, it really bumps me out when all the important headlines have to do with COVID, but we are here to be informed. And for better or worse, that's the important information these days. Let's see what we have. We have a lot of good mornings, and that is always great. Um, it was always great to read your good mornings. I know that Albert has corresponded with me privately. Albert has taken the Versailles for Foodies map as a quest, and I'm very happy that you are discovering all kinds of wonderful places. That makes me very, very happy. Alan, it doesn't get tired, but you keep counting days to come to Puerto Vallarta. I love it. It's like, for me, checking your countdown, Alan, is kind of like part of my daily ritual, because I hear how many days you have left, then I go and check out what's going on with the Webb telescope, which has deployed all its chingaderas. That makes me very happy. We should be able to get some awesome photographs of the universe in about 6 months. Let's see what else we have. Good morning, everyone from Fluvial, living on the border. I love it. Let's see what else. Oh, yes. Albert went to El Puerco de Oro, which has the most amazing pork belly tacos. I have to agree. And we've talked about this place. El Puerco de Oro was set up by the chef at Tintoque for his mother to run. So his mother, the mother of Chef Ornelas, runs the joint. He taught her, or maybe she taught him, I don't know. But his spectacular recipes for pork belly are available at this very wonderful casual taco place that everybody should explore. Let's see what else. Oh, what a wonderful place to be, sitting in Lázaro Cárdenas Park watching you. Hello, Chris. It's great for you to chime in. Thank you for letting us know. Lori says, we're finally here in Puerto Vallarta, staying safe. Way to go. Way to go. Let's see what else. La 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 la. Is ch still considered a separate letter in the Mexican alphabet? Che, the letter che. As far as I know, yes. As because we could Google this, but as far as I know, the letter che is still part of the Mexican alphabet, and the letter ñ, which is the N with a little tilde on top of it, that is also part of the Mexican alphabet. Ba-di-ba-ba-ba. Do-di-do-di-do-do-do. Yeah, this is it, Lynn. Keeping positive vibes, absolutely. Keeping the mask on, absolutely. Distancing as much as possible. Yeah, that's my mo, and that's what we're going to continue doing. Absolutely. Christine was in town and now has. Oh, Omicron. I'm sorry to hear that, friend. I hope it is mild and I hope it goes away very quickly. Lina asks, are the new cases the Omicron variant? I would say I don't know precisely. I know that Omicron is in our state with certain numbers, but I don't know exactly how many of the cases are specifically announced as Omicron cases, and that information was not provided on the article as well either. Yes, that's what I'm trying to say. Let's see. Does anyone know where I can reload my Innova Pass bus card? There used to be a farmacia on Basilio Vadillo where I used to reload my card, but they no longer offer that service. I have seen, I think, Jonathan, that you can do it at Plaza Caracol, and I seem to vaguely recall that OXO does it as well, but I'm not entirely sure. I hope that you will get some clarity from someone here at the cluster. Let's see what else. Nancy, hello, Nancy. Zoë Lewis is spectacular. Absolutely. I totally agree. I totally agree. Um, since Nuevo is thinking of changing its name, there's a movement afoot in the municipio to change Puerto Vallarta to just Vallarta. They figured so many don't use the full name anyway, and the gringos can't really pronounce Puerto. Let's see how far this idea goes. Dave, this whole idea is, since you put a Q, you are expecting my reaction. And if that is the case, my reaction is it is a sad moment when we start changing names in Mexico just because people that don't speak Spanish are not willing or able to call things for what they are. So I certainly hope that whatever movement is going on to change the name of our city from Puerto Vallarta to just Vallarta fails miserably. And I mean that. Seriously. I mean, if you live here and you cannot say the names of the fucking things, I mean, don't get me started. Let's see. Sean O'Brien says that Zoë Lewis's garden window series of concerts during COVID were absolutely great. This is true. Zoe used to do lives and probably still does. And you can find many of her live performances on the YouTube channel from which you are going to watch the Chile performance. There you go. We should totally interview her and have a quality moment with Zoe. We've done it before. I remember she joined Coffee and Headlines early on from her window from one of her performances, and she was absolutely delicious. Let's see. Mm, 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 mm. What else? Yes, she'll make you laugh so hard it's not even funny. Completely, completely, and I adore her. Let's see. Charan, chan, chan, cha, cha. Just saying, but maybe the English speaking folk could make just a little effort to pronounce Puerto. Not a good reason for a name change. No comment. It's like, don't get me started. Oh dear. Good morning. What did I miss while I was busy moving to Versailles? Well, let me tell you, Marie, you missed that there's apparently a number of English speaking people that are too lazy to learn how to say things in Spanish, so they may be changing the names of certain things. No, I'm just kidding. That's just fake news. But oh my God, I'm going to play with that one all day long. Robert says, have enrolled in Spanish classes for the month of February at the Spanish Experience Center. Are there good reviews from listeners? Are there good reviews from listeners? Of the Spanish Experience Center. I don't have any myself, so I don't know that I can tell you much information. I'm sorry. And then we see what happened to the simultaneous subtitles. I saw them on your Saturday show, but they're gone today. Well, I have nothing to do with those, mi querido Mateo. Those come and go from your computer or screen, according to whether you want them on or off. Facebook gives you that power, so just make sure that you did not turn them down or turn them off by mistake. Thanks for always being so positive, Paco and Cluster. We're swimming in so much bad news and scandal in this world right now. It's always a breath of fresh air to tune in and have some friendly banter with all of you in the morning. I totally hear you, Maggie, as in Peggy. It's not an easy world to sail on. I had a bad. When was it? It was maybe Saturday, sometime in the last 3 days. A bad, nasty gray cloud positioned itself over my head, and I knew that it was a time, it was a moment, and a sign to reach out to friends, and actually friends who know me probably sensed that I was feeling blue and invited me to go places. Um, what I'm trying to say, Maggie, is that we should all be allowed to feel um, the burden of the world and the life that we're living, and it should affect us. But then we should also be allowed and empower ourselves to positive thoughts and positive nourishing energy whenever and wherever we can find it. So if you find some here, yay, we must be doing something right. Um, Lynn says, I've been trying to get my INAPAM card for several months, but they never have cards at DEEF. Any cluster senior members have success? Oh my God, that sounds like a deja vu, Lynn, because I remember like over a year ago, very early on in Coffee and Headlines, I did like a whole detective crusade on trying to find out where these cards were and why there weren't any. In fact, we ended up interviewing the director of DEEF. And if I remember correctly, the cards are made available by the state or the government in Mexico City, and it's crazy, bureaucratic, complicated effort. I would love to hear from any cluster senior members who have had success, and we would love to hear your experience because I know that these cards are important to many of our viewers. Heather says, does it feel like a typical January with a dip in tourism right now? Well, I can tell you that from where I sit, I don't notice the difference, Heather, because for better or worse, I'm not in the touristy area. I read a couple of reports over the weekend, though, that it was crazy busy in Emiliano Zapata. I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you, but if anybody is in the tourist areas that would like to report how things look these days, please let us know. I would be curious to learn about that. Nancy wants to see an interview with Zoe. That makes two of us. I will reach out to her as soon as we're done with the broadcast. Um, Kevin says, I am deep into my Spanish studies. A classmate of mine has COVID. Are there any state guidelines on how this should be handled? I tried to research, but I could not find anything. I am not sure that I understand your question precisely, Kevin. Needless to say, if you have a classmate that has COVID, then your classmate should better be isolating from you. If you know that a classmate of yours is infected and you may have come in contact with him, this has very little to do with mandates, but you want to get tested immediately, you want to isolate for a few days, and you want to take care of yourself first and foremost so that you can be healthy and you can prevent yourself from accidentally spreading the disease. But clearly, this is no time to be having a classmate to learn Spanish if your classmate has COVID, and we wish him or her a speedy recovery. Oh, Mark. Oh, don't get me started. How about Jalisco? Oh, dear. I love it. Prepare yourself for some of Puerto Vallarta's best dining. Yay, Rita Gastronomico. Oh, Rita, is this your way of saying you're not going out to restaurants again? Well, I don't blame you. I don't blame you. It's we all have our comfort levels, and we need to do what feels comfortable for us. But first and foremost, we need to take care of ourselves. Um, what really makes me cringe is when people pronounce the double L's like Vallarta. Well, there's so many cringy things like vaginas and well, no, let's not even go there. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-bum. Uh, 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 uh. They can't pronounce Vallarta either. There's a little distinction between a B and a V sound, sort of like an unaspirated F. Uh, Albert says Emiliano Zapata's crazy busy. Ooh, not for me, thank you. Um, Another supporting comment about interviewing Zoe. I'm all over it. I love it. I love it. Um, I tell the gringos to pronounce the V in Vallarta more like a B, makes it easier to say. Of course, my Cuban friend says Vallarta. Yes. And I'm reading you guys referring to one another as gringos, and I'm feeling a little concerned because, I certainly hope that everybody appreciates that in this context, we're not using the G word in an offensive way, shape, or form. And or at least we're trying not to. So there you go. Let's see what else. Yeah, Matthew, thank you very much. Mateo, thank you very much for that remark. INAPAM has about 3 or 4 special areas in Ciudad de Mexico, and you spend hours getting your card. I understand it's a weird thing, and but I know that the handling of the cards here in town has to do with DEEF. Let's see. Let's see. Oh no. Oh, good. I almost got taken by one of the people who spilled ketchup on your clothes and slipped your wallet while wiping the spill. I caught him and got my wallet back. Good for you, Jonathan. If you guys don't know what this is about, there are some sneaky people out there that if you're in supermarkets like Costco or Walmart or whatever, they will squirt ketchup or mustard on your clothes, and then they will tap on your shoulder and say, "Oops, you've got ketchup. Let me wipe it off for you." And in the process of wiping it up for you, they will walk away with your wallet. Don't let this happen. Be careful out there. And for starters, don't keep your valuables in a place where it'll look tempting for people to go and reach out into your pockets for them. Let's see. Da-dee-da-da-da-da. Anna says, a name is a name. I never understand why people insist on changing names. I hear you, Anna. Now, every now and then somebody will misspell my name and say Poco or Taco and stuff like that. And whenever that happens, I deliberately misspell their name in response, just because, if you cannot even take the time to correct the spelling of the name of the person that you're addressing, then you need to make time for that. Or at least that's what I do. Anyhow, the word gringo is not bad unless it's preceded with the word pinche. Yeah, I would agree with that. There is a song by a Mexican group that is a lot more offensive than that. I should find it. The offensive gringo song. It has more than pinche gringo in it. It's not good, but it's fun. At least if you're not a gringo. Anyhow, if we are not a Mexican citizen, we can be considered a gringo, but I don't take it personally. Well, yeah, I mean, I'd rather just use other terms. I'd rather revert to English speaker just to keep it safe, or as Mijal says, immigrants. Anybody that moves and chooses to live here is an immigrant, and that is certainly not a place where we're going to make a mistake. We were told that gringos are Americans and not Canadians. We were told this when we were in Venezuela. We were told that they started calling American gringos during the invasion of the American soldiers, and that they were referring to their uniforms green and go. Yes, there is that theory, but the bottom line is it's not a bad idea to just think of these kinds of adjectives we use to refer to people and think whether they are adequate or not. And that is something that I'm going to leave out there for each and every one of us to make personal choices. Let's see. Oh, okay. So Whiskey Kitchen has a restaurant in Mexico City called Pinche Gringo. See, that If it's as good as Whiskey Kitchen, I would go to Pinche Gringo anytime. Um, okay, so I think we are good to go. I think we've looked at all these comments, um, and we've looked at the headlines. Bottom line is, it could get interesting again, friends, and if it does, we already know what has been working for us, and we already know what we can do to take care of ourselves and to inspire others to do the same thing. We cannot do much of anything about uh, um, people that we don't know walking down the street, but we can do a lot of things to take care of ourselves and our friends and our very own clusters. So keep that in mind moving forward. Tomorrow is Tuesday. We will taco. Wednesday, we will walk. It's going to be a good week. And we're just going to stay mindful of the news and make the best of it as we can. So stay kind, stay happy, stay mellow, stay chill. Learn your names. God knows I had to learn mine when I lived in the United States. And I'll see you soon. Ciao.